Utah, we have LaunchUp.
All right, now to reason we really do these LaunchUp is for the company. So our first company is called ClickLock. Travis Jensen is co-founder and the product manager, also known as the guy. And so I always ask people, what three lessons or observations would you tell other entrepreneurs? This is what we got. Number one, figure out your market. You may think you have a cool idea, but until you've bounced it off of real potential buyers, you know jack. See, I didn't even need to do the presentation because Travis could have done the presentation because that's exactly right. Number two, the smaller the company, the more important the networking. There are times when that is what will keep your sanity. Number three, if you don't really believe in what you're doing, do something different. It's supposed to be fun. So Travis, tell us about ClickLock. You just click that forward.
Thank you, Jeremy. So, as I said, my name is Travis Jensen. I am a founder of ClickLock. Our mission, as you can see, is to bring security to email really with a click. In other words, to make it very simple. The email space, which, for a while, a lot of people say it's tired, oh, we've moved on past it. We really haven't. We still get a deluge of email, all kinds of things coming in our inboxes. Inside of all of that deluge, we have lots of people who are wanting to find ways to make us part with our money, usually illegally. Inside of all that, I still can't get the stuff that I really want. For one reason or another, usually it's regulation and lack of security. The things that I want, the account information that I want, the information from my doctor's office, heck, even my kids' grades, I can't get in my mailbox. I have to go get another account somewhere else in order to find that information. We can solve that with, in the enterprise world, actually quite easily. There are good ways to make two companies talk to each other. But in the sort of business to consumer side of things, where we're all sitting inside of Gmail or Hotmail, Yahoo, wherever else, there's no good answer for this. And in the end, what it means is that we have lots of people who want to do these things, but we can't. So what ClickLock brings to the table is the ability to start with authenticating who is receiving a message. And we actually have multiple methods that we can do this with. We also bring encryption, so the messages coming are secure. And we have the ability to hit these platforms that otherwise are not being addressed. And we start this with several mantras. I mean, these are sort of the ClickLock ideals. The first is that secure messaging should not require meta-communication. Anybody here ever sent an encrypted message to somebody else? Okay. How long did it take you to set up that process? Did you set up the process? So the process is you go out, you get a certificate, somebody else gets a certificate, you set up your clients to talk to each other if your client supports it. I mean, or you encrypt a zip file and hope that you can get the password to them. So first, no meta communication. Absolutely critical because we want it to be simple. We want to be able to send a message and have somebody receive it. And so very simple for first-time users. Once you're using it, it's transparent. We want to actually be agnostic. Email is on top right now. Other things are coming. I mean, Facebook, who knows? We may all be using Facebook for email at some point in the future. Personally, I don't want them rifling through all my stuff. And so in the end, to be able to enable a trusted private communication channel through messaging. What we provide is for normal users the ability to send and receive encrypted messages. And this is from inside of my Gmail account, whatever. We provide message signing, so you know that the message hasn't changed. You know who it came from. We actually can do authentication on who is receiving it, so somebody can't sniff it along the way. And we do the key management, so 3 years from now, when you've changed computers 3 times and you've lost your certificate, you can actually still get access to these messages. And so what that really means is we enable trusted communication. Quick screenshot. And you know, this is actually a mock-up that's slightly tweaked from what we actually have. So inside of Gmail, I receive a message. I have, you know, it's branded with ClickLock and with whomever is sending it to you. So in this case, Green Goods Bank, where I do all of my banking. And you know, so we work with businesses who are wanting to communicate securely with their customers, so that we use them to help their users trust us. I go to sign up. I direct it to the website, if I can get forward, and it's a single-click install. There's no account set up. We don't have to do anything like that. It's just you download, you install a small piece of software, and you come back into your email, and you see we have message trust information where we can tell you what's actually, you know, information about it, who sent it, whether we verified the user, the sender, whether the message is encrypted or not, because we actually have several options in there. And so now there's nothing else. I didn't have to log in. I didn't have to do anything. So a little bit about ClickLock. We were founded roughly a year ago as a company. We licensed our core technology from BYU's Internet Security Research Lab. And Dr. Siemens, one of the principal researchers on this, and student advisors, is here with us tonight, so he can answer questions with me as well. We still work very closely with the lab. This is actually really great for us because it means that this technology has all been peer reviewed, right? I mean, this is not something that we're pulling out of our hats. This is stuff that's actually been looked at. We received second place this year at the Utah Innovation Awards. They said because you don't have a product, we can't actually give you first place. We want to fix that this year. And we received, or Dr. Siemens received an award for the BYU Technology Transfer of the Year. And we are funded. We are funded by Rocket Fuel Ventures. They're a local seed stage VC. And so what help do I need? I'm recruiting. We are at a stage where we need a couple of engineers. It's not founders. It's before employee 10. It's a hard stage to find engineers. So I'm really, you know, reaching out to the community, people who want that entrepreneurial world, but maybe a little safer because the funding's already there. You know, I would love to hear from you. Potential customer contacts, if you know somebody who might be interested in using this, I would love to talk to you guys. We do customer development. We understand the problem. Product management was hired first so that we wouldn't get into a situation where we had a technology without a product. So I want to keep talking to customers. So with that, I'll switch over to questions.
We have a mic for questions. That way you can get it on. Raise your hand. How is it that you make your money?
That mic isn't going to work on the speakers, right? But it is going online.
That's for the online. That mic won't work on speakers.
Okay. So the question is, how do we make our money? So our platform is really about enabling secure business-to-consumer communications. So we make our money by selling to companies. We are an enterprise software sell. We will go into a financial institution, a healthcare provider, and we will say we can enable this communication with your customers, with your patients. Communication that right now they're missing out on, because right now if you want to get a message from your bank, they may send you a message that says go log into the secure portal, which gets like a 5% click-through rate. I mean, nobody reads it. So that and so really the problem that we're solving is enabling, truly enabling communication from B2C. Any other questions? There's
Questions go on.
Yeah.
Where did, okay.
Yeah, the question I had was, who are you partnering with for your trusted certificates and your secure
You got me
pieces?
mixed up now.
The secure pieces, so we aren't actually providing certificates. We are in the process of identifying a third party who will do user verification for us. We We've not identified somebody yet for that. That's still a work in process. But beyond that, all of the other technology is either publicly, openly available, or it's our proprietary technology.
So right now, what's the biggest decision factor that's driving people to use the product? Like when they're looking at like a financial institution, whoever you're selling to, say that was your target market, what's the kind of have to adopt it reason?
So the thing that is driving people to purchase this is they're regulated to for some reason to provide secure communications. Now they may either not be currently compliant with those regulations. Lots of stuff gets emailed back and forth. Small companies sending private information happens all the time. Or they want to increase the communication with their users. So, I mentioned that 5%, maybe 10% click-through rate when you get a message from your bank. The people who aren't reading those, that's a cost to the organization, because if you're not getting that message, if they can't verify that you've read that message, then they may have to find another way to communicate with you. So that is really what drives people to do it. Question was, what's the difference between standard SSL and what we offer? We're actually really quite different. So the general security, encryption for email is based off of PKI, public key infrastructure, where I have a private key, you have my public key, I encrypt it with mine, you decrypt it with yours. We actually use a shared symmetric key. So we sit in the middle with a key manager and we say, here's the key, I ask for key to encrypt this, and when you go to read it, you authenticate, and then you get a key to read that message. What that means is that gets rid of all the meta communication, because it can all happen on the fly. There was...
Would you give to other entrepreneurs about raising funding before they've got revenue?
We actually have kind of an interesting story in that our funders, they actually licensed the technology from BYU, saw that it was a really interesting technology, and brought me on to figure out what the product is. So I would say that I probably don't have a good answer to that question, because we're really in a very different funding scenario than is kind of the standard. But it means that our investors are really on board, because they started the whole process, and it's actually really nice for us, because our investors, the one that we work with primarily in the partnership is, he's amazing. He is he's the most technologically, strategically astute person I've ever met, and so having him really be there to guide us is amazing. Okay, one more question.
You mentioned you needed software engineers. What, if any, is your code base, or like what technologies are you using?
So we've got kind of a broad code base. So we've got some C++, some JavaScript, some Python, a little bit of Ruby. Did I say Java already? I'm looking at bringing in something like Clojure or Scala for some of the future work. I'm very much a believer that interesting technologies make places a more interesting place to work, and I want to work at an interesting place. So that's all the time that I've got. I will be over there, so come bug me afterwards. Thank you.